It's time for another WrestlePlanet news update, as CM Punk and Bray Wyatt Chants hijack Monday Night Raw, Goldberg vs Bobby Lashley has been made official for SummerSlam, and we have the internal reaction to Adam Cole's contract expiring out of nowhere. All that and more coming up in today's video, but first... Impact Wrestling announced yesterday that they will be holding a number one contenders battle royal to decide the next in line to face Impact World Champion Kenny Omega. The current AEW and AAA champ has defended his Impact strap twice after winning it in April from Rich Swann at Rebellion, successfully beating Moose and Sami Callihan along the way. The champion is coming off the back of a successful title defense at Slammiversary on July 16th against Callihan, and this will be his first defense since then. The battle royal will air on the August 12th episode of Impact Wrestling, which is next week, with the winner earning their shot at Omega on the upcoming Emergence event. That's next week, but what about this week? As this Thursday, Juice Robinson, accompanied by David Finlay, will take on Bullet Club's newest member, Chris Bay, who will be joined at ringside by Jay White. Impact World Champion Kenny Omega will also be in action, teaming with the Good Brothers to battle the Elite Hunter Frankie Kazarian, Eddie Edwards, and Sami Callihan. Yesterday, it was reported that WWE had released Ric Flair after the 16-time world champion spoke with Vince McMahon directly to express his unhappiness with booking decisions. As always, this led to speculation of the Nature Boy making an appearance or two in AEW, where his fellow Four Horsemen members Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard already reside. Not only that, but JJ Dillon has also appeared on the show earlier this year. WCW legend and Darby Allin's mentor Sting reacted to the release on Twitter by simply saying, "Woo!" This caption was posted alongside a gif of the two men during their famous match at Clash of the Champions 1988. Perhaps this will lead to a face-off between Sting and Flair on Dynamite, with AEW often paying tribute to old school wrestling in a respectful way. Or perhaps they'll hook him up with a 31-year-old and pretend he's the father of her baby to make him look like an old pervert. I guess only time will tell. Last night, the United States premiere was held for the upcoming movie The Suicide Squad. As you may know, playing the role of Peacemaker is John Cena, who attended the red carpet in full character. Also in attendance was the AEW TNT champion Miro, who managed to catch up with Cena whilst being introduced to Cena's wife Shay. Miro is said to have been at the premiere with a writer from Sports Illustrated who covers the Los Angeles Clippers, his favorite NBA team. Cena and Miro, then known as Rusev, have worked together many times in WWE, most famously at WrestleMania 31. Cena managed to end Rusev's undefeated streak while taking the WWE United States title in the process. The two have worked all over the world together and are said to be good friends, and this is a nice moment that shows AEW and WWE talent with mutual respect for one another. Obviously, it would have been cooler if Miro locked the Peacemaker in the game over submission, but that's just me. A few days ago, Bray Wyatt was the latest wrestler released from WWE after being with the company for 12 years. This led to speculation on the future of his wife JoJo Offerman, who is known for her time as a WWE ring announcer. It turns out her future with the company has already been settled, as according to PW Insider, she was quietly released roughly 6 to 8 months ago. JoJo took a break from television in late 2018, being replaced by Mike Rome. Since then, her and her husband Wyatt have since welcomed 2 children in May of 2019 and May of 2020. It's unclear what Offerman's future holds or if she has any desire to continue a career in the wrestling business. It should be noted that she has trained as a wrestler and worked a handful of matches, mostly for Total Divas Storylines, a show in which she made her WWE debut. She's also a singer, having sang the national anthem on some WWE events. It seems she will likely have options in and out of the industry due to her many talents. And quickly, just before we continue, make sure you scroll down and drop a like and subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss any upcoming wrestling content as we head towards 20,000 subscribers. But now that you've done that, let's get on with the rest of the video. Yesterday, it was made public that Adam Cole's WWE contract is set to expire on SummerSlam weekend. His original contract was set to expire last month, but he agreed to a short extension in order to lose to Kyle O'Reilly, likely at NXT TakeOver 36. The next NXT TakeOver is scheduled for Sunday, August 22nd, one day after SummerSlam, and after that, he is free to work wherever he pleases. Obviously, this has led to a lot of speculation of him joining AEW to link up with his girlfriend Britt Baker and his friends in the Elite. Britt Baker recently spoke with the Daily Star, and the topic of Adam Cole joining AEW came up. Bear in mind that this was before the news broke about his contract ending, but this is what she had to say. I think it's funny when people say he has to go to AEW because of Britt, because there are so many more people at AEW who have played a bigger role in the wrestling side of his life. People like the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega. He was in the Bullet Club for the majority of his indie career people know him for. He has such a history in AEW that if he came here, the storylines are endless, but he's happy where he is. So if he were to jump ship and come my way, that would be awesome, but if he stays in WWE forever, then I'd be happy too, as I want him to be happy. Rumors of Adam Cole heading to AEW will swirl over the next month or so, especially with AEW All Out 2021 being only 2 weeks after his final contracted match in NXT. His refusal to sign a long-term deal with WWE has only fueled this talk. Last night, WWE held their latest episode of Monday Night Raw from the All-State Arena in Chicago, Illinois. During the show, there were a number of chants for both CM Punk and Bray Wyatt, with the crowd determined to hijack certain segments. Before Raw, WWE taped their main event show, which is where the Punk chants started. There was later a Miz TV segment with Miz and Morrison hosting their guest Damian Priest, who was caught off guard by the crowd. During one of his lines, they would begin a CM Punk chant, which caused him to stop and laugh before regaining his composure. WWE then piped in cheers to try to drown them out. The chants for Bray Wyatt started during a back and forth promo between WWE Hall of Famer Goldberg and WWE Champion Bobby Lashley. Chants of "We Want Wyatt" would start in response to the release of Bray Wyatt just a few days ago. WWE did their best to block out the chants, but fan footage from Twitter shows the crowd were very vocal, although the television broadcast doesn't put this over quite as much. And speaking of Bobby Lashley and Goldberg, the match between the two was made official last night on Raw, with them set to clash at SummerSlam for Lashley's WWE Championship. Goldberg would confront the champion, declaring he is next at SummerSlam. Goldberg then went to the back, which led to Lashley and his manager MVP taunting Goldberg's son at ringside, before Big Billy came back out to drop MVP with a spear. Lashley accepted Goldberg's challenge later in the night, saying he hopes Goldberg brings his son so he can see him annihilate his father. This is now the third official match confirmed for SummerSlam, with John Cena ready to challenge Roman Reigns for the Universal title. Also on the card, Nikki Ash will defend her Raw Women's title against Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair in a triple threat. Next up, we have some more news regarding the Adam Cole situation, as we have a report regarding WWE's internal reaction to Cole's deal expiring seemingly out of nowhere. It's been said that WWE believed his contract ended in December later this year, which allowed them time to renegotiate. They then quickly found out his deal in fact ends in July, leading to a short contract extension that will take him to the SummerSlam weekend. In an update from PW Insider, the realization that Cole's deal was expiring surprised a number of executives, and there is said to be frustration that the matter has become public. Cole is currently one of the top stars of the NXT brand, and is now in the perfect position to decide his own future, whether that be in WWE or AEW. He is in a great negotiating position, with the ability to make demands, whether that be more money or a main roster run. PW Insider have also learnt that the recent departure of Senior Director of Talent Development, Canyon Seaman, could be linked with WWE finding out Cole was set to leave without notice, as the timing seems to line up. Seaman left WWE on July 23rd after 9 years, and Cole's contract situation is a huge oversight for whoever is responsible for tracking contracts, with many believing that Seaman was responsible. As always, we'll keep our ears on the ground to keep you updated should any news break regarding the Adam Cole story, so make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on. And before you go, why not check out my video where I discuss 5 ways that AEW could book the debut of CM Punk.